With the recent announcement of Supercell being renewed for a second season, the buzz around this series has reached new heights. Fans are excited, expectations are sky high, and social media is ablaze with predictions and hope for what's to come. But before we dive into what Season 2 might bring, let's take a step back and ask, was Season 1 really all it was cracked up to be? Did it live up to the hype, or was it just another overblown Netflix release? I'm Olu James, and this is Hit or Miss. Let's break it down. On paper, Supacell has a captivating premise, similar to the hit show Heroes, which unfortunately nosedived after an amazing first season. It was basically ordinary people suddenly develop superpowers and are forced to navigate this newfound power in a world that's anything but forgiving. Setting the show in the gritty world of South London is a fresh spin on the superhero genre, grounded in real-life struggles and diverse perspectives. For example, Michael Lasaki's ability to perceive and manipulate time adds an intense personal layer to the story as he tries to prevent a tragedy he foresees happening to his girlfriend, Dion. However, while the idea is solid, the execution didn't quite match up. The narrative setup had the potential to be groundbreaking, but ended up feeling more like a missed opportunity than a game changer. At its core, Supacell has an intriguing concept: regular black people navigating life with extraordinary abilities. But here's the thing. While the idea was fresh, the execution, not so much.
Here we go again.
The pacing felt off, with the show often dragging in places where it should have soared. For instance, the first few episodes spent too much time setting up the characters' backstories without pushing the plot forward. The show spends almost an entire episode on Michael's introduction and his relationship with Dion. While these moments are essential for character development, they come at the expense of advancing the plot.
How? How did they think that was okay?
By the time the narrative starts to gain momentum, it's bogged down by these lengthy setups. This slow build-up makes it challenging for viewers to stay engaged, especially when the pacing feels inconsistent. Michael's journey to stop Dion's tragic fate would have been the emotional anchor, but it's diluted by subplots that don't carry the same weight. This results in a narrative that meanders when it should be charging ahead. Now let's talk about the characters.
Let's go.
They're supposed to be the heart of the show, right? Unfortunately, most of them felt underdeveloped, like sketches of what they could have been. First off, the powers follow the same basic tropes that one would expect from almost every superhero show: speed, strength, telekinesis, and the like. Nothing new or unique there. It would have been great to have gone beyond the predictable superhero tropes and maybe add real stakes, like rules for using the powers. For example, using powers over an extended period results in grave consequences. Next, actual character development is another area where Supercell struggles. Michael, for example, starts with a promising arc. His ability to perceive and manipulate time gives him a glimpse into a future he desperately wants to change. However, his transformation from a regular guy into someone trying to outmaneuver fate lacks the emotional depth needed to fully invest in his journey. His struggle to alter Dion's fate is emotionally charged, yet the show doesn't delve deeply enough into his internal conflicts. Michael's powers give him a glimpse into potential futures, but the emotional weight of these glimpses is often glossed over. The show could have explored the psychological toll of knowing the future and the helplessness that comes with it. Then there's Sabrina, an NHS worker who discovers she has the power to move objects with her mind. Her initial fear and confusion are compelling, but the show doesn't dive deep enough into her internal struggle with this newfound power. While her journey from viewing the powers as a curse to accepting them is a fascinating concept, it feels rushed and underexplored. I mean, in one episode, Sabrina's internal struggle is introduced, but by the next, she's already mastering her abilities.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
This abrupt transition leaves her character feeling underdeveloped and one-dimensional. Now, visually is where Supercell almost redeems itself. The visuals are slick and the cinematography has its moments of brilliance. For example, the scene where Michael rewinds time to prevent a minor accident is visually stunning and effectively portrays his powers and cleverly illustrates his unique perspective on reality. However, these moments are few and far between. The special effects, particularly the telekinesis scenes with Sabrina, are inconsistent. Some, like the scene where she first uses her powers, are genuinely thrilling, but others, such as a poorly executed CGI scene in the final episode, fall flat, almost like the budget ran out halfway through production. Not exactly what you'd expect from a hyped-up Netflix series. Tonally, Supacell tries to juggle between gritty realism and comic book fantasy, and it doesn't quite stick the landing. It's like the show can't decide whether it wants to be a deep, introspective drama or a flashy superhero spectacle. One moment you're watching a heartfelt scene between Michael and Dion discussing the burdens of his powers, and the next you're thrown into a jarringly over-the-top action sequence that feels out of place. The result? A mixed bag that feels more like a mashup than a coherent series. So, is Supacell a hit, a miss, or just plain overhyped? Honestly, it's somewhere in between. The show isn't a total miss, it has its moments. But considering the massive build-up, it didn't exactly deliver on all fronts. With all the hype surrounding it, you'd expect Supacell to knock it out of the park. Instead, it's more sizzle than steak. It's not unwatchable, but it's not the groundbreaking series it was hyped up to be either. If you're into superheroes, give it a shot, but don't expect the next big thing. With season 2 on the way, let's hope the show finds its footing and delivers the super-powered punch we're still waiting for. So my rating for Supacell is premise 3 out of 5, storyline 2 out of 5, character development 2 out of 5, cinematography and visuals 3 out of 5, tone and style 3 out of 5, to give an overall score of 3 reels out of 5. Supacell hovers on the edge of a miss, but leans heavily into the overhyped territory. Let's see if season 2 can turn things around. What do you think? Was Supacell overhyped, or did it hit the mark for you? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more honest takes on the latest TV shows and movies. Off to walk the dog now. Later.